So I've got a really jank cooling setup for my Mac. I've got this fun fan that I've just set my Mac on top of. And that is how we are streaming from a MacBook. Oh no. Is it better? Or is it the jet engine in the back? Is it me? Is jet engine okay? I like the jet engine stuff. It's not great. I might turn it off. We'll see how the Mac fares. So that's the fan that I've put my MacBook on top of. Okay. I'm glad that we're all in agreement that the jet engine is okay. So this is the first time that I've done this. So I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't really know the best way to show you guys what's going on. But I want to show you why SideStore development has been so slow, first of all. And second, I have plans on how to fix that going into the future. Hopefully. We'll see. But for now, if I can find my mouse, I want you guys to feast your eyes on this amazing storyboard that we've got going here. Look at this one file that controls all of these different views. Now, for those of you who aren't programmers and don't know what any of this means, basically each of these are a view, right? So this view is of type, I'm using a mouse, so things are a little iffy, but so, you can see this is of class type forwarding navigation controller. Okay, well, how do I change what this does? Oh, I have to go to this file. Well, this file's in AltStore components here instead of in the funny storyboard, which is fine. Functionality should go here, but also, what even is this functionality? So that's the main issue. I'm wanting to break all of these views out from the main storyboard into their own individual storyboards, or just completely trashing everything and just going with SwiftUI, which has been the goal for a while as well. Which, again, if you guys don't know, SwiftUI is the newer way of making... It's only showing your editor. Yes, I'm only showing the editor. Oh, wait. I see. It didn't update. One moment. This is an OBS jank. Oh. I think it fixed. Yes. Okay. Let's go back. Let's re-explain. Let's show the pain. So each of these, right? Each of these are views, right? So this huge mess of views, this is the main.storyboard file. Underneath this storyboard file is all XML. What that means, it's all basically indecipherable text, and every time someone makes a change, so you see this, you see how there's no modifications? If someone just did that, oh, will it do it? Come on. Oh, it won't? Well, it used to. It used to be where if you just barely changed... Oh no, I think it did actually. Wait, let me show. Xcode being sneaky. Source control. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. Either way, it is very difficult for a group of developers to work on this one big main.storyboard. That's our main issue. It's probably fine for Riley. Riley does a great job with AltStore. He's a two-man team. It goes great for him. For us, it's not so great when every single thing is in this one file. And then, let me find... Oh gosh, it's been a while. I think it's in managing apps. So in this giant file, you will find every functionality of like how apps are installed, how they are fetched from sources. You'll find everything here, right? This is a 1800 line file. Probably shouldn't be 1800 lines. It makes working on this very difficult. It makes changing anything very difficult. That's the point that I want to get across. So in the coming weeks, I'm hoping to rewrite most of this into SwiftUI. I've done a lot of analytics over the past week or so of users. I'm hoping to just scrap all of AltStore's code and redo all of the UI, because most of our users tend to be on iOS 13 or newer. That will allow us to move on to newer frameworks and fix the mistakes that AltStore has left us. For example, a great thing. Some of these things I would love to keep. iOS 13 has a few jailbreak things that could be cool, but there are a lot of these types of things in the codebase, which I think could be handled better. We just haven't. A lot of it is we just haven't done it, and a lot of people have lost interest in SideStore, which is saddening, but it is a very difficult project to get going. I'm hoping that I can finish it up, get it to 1.0, get it to a point where I can stop working on it. But the goal, eventually, is that this will be fully self-sustaining. Other people will be able to contribute and add features a lot easier than with AltStore. AltStore makes it very difficult because everything is just one big file. SideStore hopes to modularize everything, make everything easier for contributors and other people to contribute. I just am one person who is pretty young. I'm new to programming. I don't know what I'm doing fully. I'm not the greatest person to be managing a whole open source project, but we'll get there. I will do this to the best of my ability, hopefully better than how AltStore's done it. A lot of you want certificates and iOS 17 JIT. I know iOS 17 JIT is a big thing people want. I'm going to say right now, and I'm probably going to have to say it over and over again, it's not looking great. Will it look close? I'm personally hoping to make it look similar, but I'm hoping to revamp a lot of the elements that Riley has put together. I've also played with the idea of having an AltStore UI as well as a new SideStore UI, but managing both of those at once feels very difficult, especially when we're just trying to get to 1.0. And AltStore's codebase is what is keeping us from doing that. True. We just need more propaganda, of course. No, I think that's another thing. SideStore is a very word of mouth type of project. For right now, I like it as it is, being word of mouth, not super well known because it isn't very stable yet. People have gotten very angry about SideStore's issues, even though we've tried our best. Uh, 0.5.1 currently is our most stable version, mostly because it allows users to figure out what issues they're having. Uh, I'll say the staging directory issues that most people were seeing were just undocumented issues or issues that didn't have proper error codes. Yeah, as a developer myself, I personally think 0.5.1 is pretty close to what 1.0 will feel like. As long as you get it up and running and it works for you, I'm hoping that's what 1.0 will feel like for everyone. We're just hoping to redo a lot of the core stuff. Let's see if I can get that pulled up, actually. I don't have a lot of scenes. But so our Minimuxer EM proxy, we've been wanting to redo, basically in basic terms, how the device connects back to itself. We want to re-implement a lot of that because it's not very stable, or we also don't have a lot of the errors fully fleshed out for that. For example, people come in a lot with inst proxy issues, or issues where, it'll say WireGuard can't connect or the device can't connect to itself. We're hoping that a lot of that is either stability issues with our underlying programs or user error that's just hard for us to document and give proper feedback for. For example, staging directory errors were fully just undocumented errors. Every time you saw a staging directory error on 0.5.0 was probably because of an undocumented error that was just being categorized as a staging error. A lot of those errors are either code signing because Riley's AltSign package doesn't code sign all applications properly, or our Minimuxer and EM proxy implementation is really flaky. Both of those things we are hoping to fix. Another developer has been focusing on the core connecting parts. They've been rewriting libimobile-device, which is a C library, into Rust, the language that we use for Minimuxer and EM proxy and such. That's been... I don't fully know updates on that. I'm hoping it's going well. My focus, me personally though, I wanted to focus on the code signing aspects of SideStore. I wanted to push forward my understanding of Apple code signing in general so that I could make SideStore better than AltStore, right? AltStore currently works very well for free developer accounts, and that's pretty much it. AltStore would be great if they just added better support for paid developer accounts and enterprise accounts. People constantly ask for certificate support as well. These things, after I've personally gone through and done a bunch of research these past 3-4 months, it doesn't seem super difficult to implement. The only issue is that AltStore's codebase makes it hard to implement because Riley had a very different vision than what I have for SideStore moving forward. For example, Riley does not let you choose what your app ID or bundle IDs will be when you mangle them or change them. I think those settings and giving users the ability to change those things would be very beneficial. One of the big things that I want to push forward with SideStore is the infinity slot, the quote-unquote infinity slot. I will explain it a bit. Free developers are limited to 3 applications installed at once. You only get 3 apps and 10 app IDs at once. When you try to install another application, iOS itself will tell you to stop. iOS will not install more than 3 free developer-signed applications. My idea with the quote-unquote infinity slot is that we just reuse one slot over and over again. Riley has it set where when you register YouTube, for example, it will register the YouTube bundle identifier with your team identifier, which definitely works, but could be better. Imagine you just sign it with any app ID. You sign it with com.sidestore.app1 or whatever, and then you can sign any application using that slot. Kind of hard to explain with just no visuals, no anything. I'm just kind of talking. But the way Apple code signing works is that, let's see, can I get, oh boy, let's see if I remember my keybinds. Hey, okay, so the way that the code signing works, right, on the server side, we have an app ID, and this app ID is what is checked it is checked by Apple and iOS. Have you made any considerations based on? My plan with that, at least going forward, and I think Riley's gearing up for this as well, I think SideStore will make a very beautiful front end for installing applications. We have a lot of plans in the works. We have a review system in the works. It's nowhere near complete, but we want to enable third-party developers to distribute applications using SideStore with or without the EU Digital Markets Act. We want to allow for a semi-decent free developer experience than what Apple provides. But the way code signing works is we have to check this app ID. I, as the SideStore developer, I own com.sidestore.sidestore. Oh no, it's not showing. Wait. Okay, I think we're good. So, I own this bundle, or this app ID, this bundle ID, right? Nobody else in the world can register com.sidestore.sidestore. That was the issue that Riley was trying to solve with AltStore. When you look at your app IDs inside of AltStore, you will see com.sidestore.sidestore. Random characters. Those random characters are your developer ID. That's what Apple has tied to you, right? That's how Apple determines whether you can sign applications or not. It's very pay to win. Apple altogether is very pay to win. If you care about sideloading, if you care about running applications freely, you probably don't want iOS. You probably want Android. iOS is very locked down when it comes to sideloading and stuff like this, right? But my idea is that we register instead of... Yeah. instead of registering, com dot, or let's say, blah 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 Discord stuff, right? Instead of registering com.hammer chisel Discord, we just register com.SideStore.app1, and then we put your team ID afterwards. What this allows us to do, if we do com.sidestore.app1.teamid, what this would allow us to do is sign a theoretically infinite amount of apps using this app ID. We could, for a lot of apps, change the bundle ID to also match this, and we could run a lot of applications using this. But AltStore is not written with this in mind. AltStore is written for, com.hammer.discord.teamid. So a lot of these things are going to require rewrites. It's just going to take a long time. And yeah. I mostly wanted to use today's stream to go over the future, my plans, the codebase, questions, concerns, anything. If anyone has any questions, concerns, I'll also check the Discord chat. I don't know if anyone's watching, but in Discord. Yes. The way that... No. So AX, the way that backing up apps is supposed to work is using a method called app groups. Currently, our code is a little wonky about AltStore's app group, so backups don't work super great with SideStore right now. But yes, backups will work. Everything should work perfectly fine with this method. And in fact, it should work even better with this method, with the way that I plan on implementing it. And the doctor, the 3-app limit cannot be bypassed unless you pay Apple or jailbreak and exploit. There are signing services, but at the end of the day, they're still paying Apple. They still have to pay Apple to get new certificates and such. So you're just basically sharing the burden of paying Apple if you use a signing service. Those are the only two ways. We will see. OC, or I think it was OC. Was it OC? No, Opa. Opa, he posted about it. Don't get your hopes up, he said. We still need other exploits to get that exploit to work. iOS is a very locked down system. Even with some exploits that seem very powerful, they're still locked behind other exploits that are necessary to get before you can even use them. So, it's sad. Thank you. I've been feeling a lot of fun imposter syndrome, but I've also been actually learning a lot about Apple and iOS, like code signing and such. So I definitely feel that I'm a lot more prepared to fix this project than I was 3-4 months ago. So Hopefully people stick around. If they don't, then that's fine. I don't mind either way. I plan on finishing SideStore to at least 1.0, no matter what. So, what else is there to talk about? The docs, the documentation. We need to fix them. I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to the chat. I want to talk to you, all 4 of you. I don't know how many people are here. Reading this, reading YouTube is kind of hard, but there might be 7 of you now. I want you all to know the SideStore documentation. It may be bad. It may need fixed, but a lot of it is still decently accurate. Aniceti doesn't lock your accounts anymore. That's the first myth I want to bust on this, on this stream. Aniceti v3, the main Aniceti server, ani.sidestore.io, will not lock your account. I promise you. We've solved that. It is gone. Staging directory issues may still exist, but we've fixed most of those. But other than that, the documentation, the wiki, the site, it has all of your answers, all of them. I promise, and I plan on making it better. Hopefully today, if not later. I might be a little shy on the stream. I've got really slow typing and all sorts of mistakes, but yeah. So you can see that they just haven't been updated in a very long time. When was our last update? Oh, I bet I'm pulling the wrong thing. Nope. Widgets. I don't have many ideas for new widgets. I guess if I think of anything, yes. But for now, I think the current widgets are good enough. And most people tend to not want the widgets because it takes up an extra app ID slot. I definitely want to distribute a version of SideStore without the widgets to give at least the option. But I could probably make like a news widget or something. Either way, Okay. It's been a while since I've done most anything. There we go. Gotta relearn the Git. Don't steal my password. Oh no! I'm also typing on a mechanical keyboard, so I'm not used to this. There we go. Okay. I will say, if you have the chance to get to iOS 16 somehow, you might want to go there if you care about JIT. Side loading will always work. JIT, not so much. JIT is not looking good either. So, but if you only care about sideloading apps, then you should be fine. Okay. How far behind was my branch? Let's see. Quite a ways. Okay. Yeah. No, I've been on my I have a 14 Pro. I updated to every iOS 17 developer beta, and SideStore sideloading worked perfectly fine on every 17 beta, and it works on 17.0 currently, and the Aniceti analytics show that the newer versions of SideStore, or the newer versions of iOS work for sideloading. Let's see if I can pull that up. If you guys are interested in, let's see, the Aniceti analytics, how many users we have like connecting and such. Oh gosh, moving the whole thing. Let's make it bigger. There we go. Okie dokie. So I just want to show you guys what it's like to run the SideStore Aniceti server. Oh yeah, some juicy stats that aren't up to date. So this number, this column, I think are how many requests per day, and then this column is how many bytes per day. So like how much data we've sent. So these right here, those are 10 gigabytes. We sent 10 gigabytes of data that day, and then 8.9, 8.5, 7, blah blah blah. Let's see. Oh no. I already did that. I'm silly. I wanted to do hour, but wait. I need to remember what all's on this database anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of data there. Gosh, I don't remember. I'll have to figure it out later. Either way, it's a lot of people. We have a lot of people using our Aniceti. I think the last metrics were around. I think it was saying 19,000 unique clients, but that doesn't sound, or it doesn't feel super correct. Though we had almost 9,000 of you using iOS 17, even after we said you shouldn't update to iOS 17 if you care about JIT. Then a lot of you still come into the server and complain. But no, it's yeah, that's only iOS 17. Lower than iOS 17 was another 9K was what it was saying, but I'm expecting a lot of those numbers to be duplicates, just people updating. but it was also based off of the origin IP address, so, or whatever Cloudflare gives us as the origin IP address. So we had over 19,000 people this past week. Just week. I haven't even been keeping track that long. That's data only from the 20th. I could probably look elsewhere to sort of get the data, but I think this data on the Aniseti server is the most accurate. But yeah. I'm going to pull up some stuff. Okay. So, for example, we probably want to fix this. Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, we have this whole part that people just don't read. Okay. Yeah, this is mostly just people not reading, I guess. Huh. Well, we'll get there. A lot of this stream is going to be me coming back to the project as well, because I've been away for so long. Yeah, we're gonna have to... Oh, it's perfectly fine. So right now I use Podman to manage 6 instances of the Aniseti software that I route using Nginx. And it's golden. It's fine. It only, like, I think each instance only takes about like 40 megabytes to run, like 40 megabytes of memory, and like the CPU is usually idling even with our current user base. So if the number doubled, I think we'd still be okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna put a little, one of these, right? Until we fix it. So I'm putting right now that side server Windows breaks your SideStore installs. Because it, oh gosh. Fails to sign the widgets properly. We are looking into a fix. Caps lock. Now I will also say that this wiki never gets read, but I'm hoping that adding things like this will influence others to read it more. I also plan on making a few videos, like YouTube videos myself, of just how to, just how to install and general issues that people run into. I'm just gonna make a video form of the wiki and watch. Everyone will watch that. They will watch me reading the wiki to them, but they won't read the actual wiki. So yeah. I don't really have I think I had like a I'm in the middle of a rebase. Yeah, they really want, well, and that's the other issue with the iOS community, I think, that people have, is that they want developers to hold their hand. We can't really hold your hand. We wish we could, but there's only so much hand-holding we can do. I'm confused. Okay. No. I'm silly. Okay. I personally will probably continue to use iOS. I used Android for a little bit. It wasn't for me. But that's just me. Other people will have different opinions, of course, but I like the security of iOS. I like the way it works. And I'm hoping with SideStore I won't have to compromise as much when it comes to sideloading things. Or I guess I'll do a do that, go back. Sure, bud. Sorry. Oh boy. Not very. Currently one person. I'm the only, I'm the main person that, wants to do development with SideStore. Most other people are, done. But it was about 10. I think the core development team was like 4 or 5 people, thinking about it. Again, I'm walking and chewing bubblegum. I don't want to leave people out. But yeah. At least for right now, it's a team of 1. Or at least when it comes to the core app programming, we still have a lot of people contributing to the docs, like this wiki, the documentation, and other various repositories. You can see all the people that have contributed, but I'm just saying, like, main team wise. Like, main team, main core developer wise, yeah. Okay, well, we'll just not look at that, I guess. Sometimes, yeah. I'm thinking, at least for this, the rewrite, stuff like that, we'll get there. I just want to make sure we're good. Okay. And then we add that. Yeah, that works. Okay. Again, I'm sure there's more stuff that I'm forgetting about and missing on there, but that's my, that's how I'm gonna keep my brain on that. I definitely want to make sure that we have our documentation fully up to date before moving forward, because if our documentation is easy to read and digest, hopefully we can cut down on support forum stuff. My next thing that I was going to talk about was the bot, which I think I have elsewhere. Yes. I'm using good old Python, right? For now. We'll see if that changes, but I don't think it will. Yeah, so it's a very basic bot. I will upload this to GitHub so other people can help. I'm hoping to get the bot more integrated with the documentation so that we can have tags and give people better support in the Discord, because people are silly. But the future is looking great, in my opinion, when it comes to sideloading and refreshing applications. JIT, not so much. Hopefully we'll get that someday. The people that have reverse engineered JIT, the main person, Doronz, DORONZ, very talented developer, worked on Pi Mobile Device 3. It allows you to enable iOS 17 JIT, but it requires a Mac because of the way that iOS 17 JIT works. Essentially, it is all done over a new VPN-like protocol, which we do not have implemented whatsoever. It uses a thing called QuickTun, so QuickTun. It also is all over IPv6, so again, for programmers and people that don't speak this, IPv6 is different than what most networks use. Most networks use IPv4, which is a smaller range of addresses. Yada yada, right? It's easier. It makes sense. Our main developer, emproxy, of emproxy and Minimuxer, only developed it for IPv4, meaning we would have to also implement IPv6, as well as QuickTun, which is a whole different protocol. But, yeah. I'm losing my train of thought. Just kind of rambling, going and going. Could do that. Stream notification roll. Taking a little break. My brain's scattered. Yeah, not much to say other than RIP about iOS 17 JIT. I've also asked the main developer. It can be that way. It very much can be. I asked the main developer if we could do a JIT Streamer 2.0. He said unlikely, just the way that this new protocol works. It requires a quote-unquote physical device to be created. It creates a specific tunnel device that can only be created on macOS, which we would have to figure out how to emulate that on iOS as well as other platforms. Hopefully one day we figure it out. That day will not be today or anytime soon. That's the finish of that thought, the final the final bits of that thought before I lose it. The other thing, I am also just a lowly Python developer. I know Swift, but not very well when it comes to oh yeah, as you were typing it. I'm glad that I predicted it. I could feel it. I'm very much a Python developer at heart. I really like Python. Swift is like Python, but weirder. Swift has like a few features that I wish Python had. Swift, for example, Swift's optionals are very nice. Being able to nullish coalesce things makes writing code so much easier. I think that steal from JavaScript was a great steal. Or whichever way that steal went. Whoever thought of it first. Stuff like that. Like, Python has those concepts, sort of, but you have to, like, make them yourself. Which is fine. I like Python. I think Python's a great language. If you want to learn programming, learn Python. People are saying not to now, maybe? I don't know why. I think it's great. Learn Python or learn C. C will get you very far in a lot of languages. If you know how the C syntax works, you know how the syntax of a lot of different languages work, so... Sorta. It's an open source language. Swift can be used on Linux and has been used for server software before. I think people sleep on it. I think Swift could become a half-decent Go if it didn't have Apple's grubby little mitts over it. But, you know, or like a decent in-between of C and Go. But I also don't know the full, like, performance differences. Oh yeah, PHP. Hey, PHP developers are eating good recently, aren't they? Aren't like newer versions of PHP like half decent? So, you know, you don't have a terrible life as a PHP developer. Never be decent. That's awesome. What are the other projects that I have worked on? I don't have a lot of like public projects. My background is fully a really bad Python developer. I've been learning a lot recently, trying to get better in general. For example, if you look at SideBot currently, the layout is sane. It doesn't look bad. You have like source, and then your modules, and you know it all flows in a way that makes sense. But I haven't fully gotten this up to snuff and figured out. What you see right now is what is running with SideBot right now. You can do, I think you could even do a good old status. Yeah. I think. Oh, I lied. Okay. Either way, I work on Discord bots. I've worked on. I want to work on emulation stuff. I really like the old Pokemon games. I am a sucker for Pokemon in general. I have so many plans in the future. I wish I had more time to work on that, but I don't. Yeah, a lot of our codebase with SideStore is in Rust. I don't like Rust. That's why I haven't touched any of it. Oh, me too. I also have a modded Switch V1. I had the first batch Switch, and I homebrewed it. Super great. But I have plans to hopefully allow for multiplayer Pokemon without emulator netplay. That's a goal of mine in the future. Basically, all you do is you give a website your Pokemon saves, like your old emulator Pokemon saves, whatever, and then you can battle other people with just the website, or trade, or do the berry mini games in Gen 3, or trade mail, or, you know, there were so many cool Pokemon features back in the day that I wish that they kept doing. Game Freak just kind of gave up on that, though, which is very sad. Makes me very sad. Secret bases were awesome back in the day. I had no friends as well, so I got to see all these cool features and not use any of them. Oh, I mean, you know, you're all good. I saw your changes. Legends Arceus? You like Legends Arceus? That's crazy. That's wild. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I agree with you, but I'm gonna go a step further. Most of the Switch Pokemon games are boring. I think even Legends Arceus gets kind of boring after a while, but maybe that's just me. I think the last good Pokemon games were Black and White 2 for like mainline Pokemon games. I think that was the last time that Game Freak really pushed the envelope. They pushed it a little further than it needed to go. I don't know if any of you have seen the visuals of Pokemon Black and White 2, but it is a DS game with 3D graphics. Yeah, it's not for everyone. Well, you want to know something funny about that MMO portal? BDSP, they feel good and they have the old school vibe because they are quite literally just the original DS ROMs, as far as I remember. They just used the like same game and reskinned it. So yeah. Like, I think that they could do something really good with just any of the stuff that they've made, like any of the stories, and like anything, right? Like, they have so much material to work with that they just throw away after a single generation. Yeah. And game mechanics are fun. I love the core mechanics of Pokemon. Uh, I still bought Scarlet and Violet. Like, I still bought. I think I bought Sword. Um, and I still plan on playing these games. I don't think they're great, but I still enjoy them enough to play them. Um, like, they just dropped the ball, in my opinion. I want a return of secret bases. I want a return of... Right, yeah. I want a return of more, like, multiplayer stuff. I get that you can... I don't know if you can in Scarlet and Violet. If you can do, like, decent multiplayer things. I don't think you can. Like, I think it's just you exist in their world. Which is nothing. But... yeah. Yes, this is another thing that I wanted to show. So, like, AltStore Core, this has, like, all of, a bunch of stuff that we personally think... Ooh, good ol'... Oh, great. Well, whatever. AltStore Core has a bunch of stuff that we want to get rid of and just implement directly into SideStore. It's just, again, I'm not going to do it here because my brain does not work while streaming, I'll be real. Yeah, Pokemon Unite. I heard that was... It was okay, I've heard. It's just Pokemon League of Legends, right? Or am I thinking of the other one? Also, I just realized. Okay, we're good. No, AX, you said modded PS3, PS4. I haven't touched any of that. I wish I knew what went into that. Um, the only, like, the craziest anecdote about PS3s that I know, that I love to tell everyone, is that the US Army bought, like, 300 to 400 of them when they first came out because they were the most powerful computer on the planet. At the time of release, when the PS3 first came out, they were the most powerful computers on the planet. And they hooked like 300 to 400 of them up together in series to make like this crazy supercomputer. I don't know if it's real. I'm pretty sure it's real. This is a story that I heard that I always hear. But yeah, like I wish I had a homebrewed PS3. Uh, they sound crazy. Yeah, they did that. Yeah, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you're for sure on that too, because I wasn't. Um, but yeah, that is my favorite U.S. military story. I want to say. Um, that's where our U.S. tax dollars are going. It's to 300 to 400 PS3s. I think these can probably go. I mean, I'll keep them, but it's funny. Yeah, um I never did much gaming as a kid, other than like Nintendo consoles. If it wasn't a Nintendo handheld or a console that didn't take 5 years to launch, I wasn't playing it. I had this really old, crappy laptop when I was a kid that took. It would literally take like 30 minutes to boot because it was Windows 8. Um, and it would just never boot. Um, but yeah. Trying to think. A lot of this code also needs fixed anyway, but you know. Hey, you know, you've just got that many more years experience than I do. I'm only 22. I came out right after Y2K, you know. Um, so I don't know. I know enough about computers mostly because I've gotten into programming and this sort of stuff. But as a kid, I was very dumb. I want to say my first like actual computer was probably my Mac that I bought myself in high school. It was a 2015 MacBook Pro. That was about $1,000, which I don't think I made $1,000 back then. I think my parents, added whatever I was missing, but I worked a job or an internship my freshman year and bought myself a MacBook Pro, and then I semi-recently in 2020 upgraded that to an M1, which I really like. Which is what I'm using right now. Also, I love my It's an M1 with the 8-core GPU and CPU, and then the 16 gigabytes of RAM. It was about, I want to say, like 1,200, because I also bought the 1 terabyte model. But it's holding up. It's doing its job. I can't be mad at it. So. That was the other thing that I wanted to work on. Yeah. I try to tell myself that. I always have to remind myself that not everyone in the world is as interested in these things as I am. For example, like, SideStore is one of them. Just old Pokemon games. Like, I feel like everyone else in the world has just moved on. Everyone else is just ready to be done with it. But I feel like these old topics, these cool old things, have so much potential left in them. Right? I am too. These things, like, have you seen anything from K's Emmanuel? I think that's how you pronounce his name. Terrible at names, but he like did a decomp of Mario 64 and has pushed it fully to the limits. Like, it's insane. AX, have you tried the main Anicetti server recently? Does it work, or does it not work at all for you? If it doesn't work at all, I will look into a new Anicetti server for Asia, but I'm hoping that the main server works for you now. It should be a lot more stable now than what it was. I haven't played a lot of the older, like, computer games. I never really got into those. I know a lot of people are and do. I don't know. I never went older than probably just NES, SNES. But I've heard a lot of, like, older computer games are really, really good as well. 30 years later. Gives me more time to talk to you guys. Gotcha. I will say all errors that you face, unless they specifically say Aniseti, or they are connection issues for the Aniseti server, then it will be app errors. The Aniseti server is only used for logging into the Apple servers. So they shouldn't error much anymore. We did a lot of work into fixing those Aniseti errors. I say we, but I did none of the work. That was fully Datum, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm terribly sorry if that's not Datum. Nature Code Void and other various developers, they are very, very talented. They deserve a lot of recognition for fixing Aniseti errors, especially Datum. Datum put a ton of time into V3 to make it not lock people's accounts. So, if you see Datum talking in the Discord, definitely thank them. They deserve it. He deserves it. Datum also was Datum and I were specifically yeah, no, you're all good. I mean, I'm just chatting, just hanging. But Datum and I specifically wanted to make sure that people in Asia could connect to the Aniseti server, so we increased the timeout. I don't think we needed to increase the timeout as far as we did. Most people, even from Asia, as far as we can tell, typically only take a couple seconds to connect, max. So, you guys should be good over there, I hope. I don't know what it's like over there. I don't know what internet is like. I'm just a silly American guy who knows nothing about the rest of the world, really. So, if you do have issues, do let me know. I am the person to fix that. But Aniseti should be good, hopefully. Yeah, the Aniseti server is hosted in southern US. So, if you are in Europe or Asia or elsewhere, it might be slow, but it shouldn't be terrible. I haven't checked Discord in a bit. Let's give that a good old check. I will say, the Discord server, if you don't speak a language, Please don't. Oh, okay, hey. I didn't realize that. Hello. No, I was gonna say, if you don't speak a language, please don't start putting random crap in those channels. Those are meant for, like, people that speak that language, not you to meme about people speaking a language. They just want to communicate. They don't need silly Americans clogging up their chats. Please, mouse, work. Okay. So, here we are in the enemy territory. Has he made this better? No. But that's okay. We use App Center Analytics. I want to move away from that. It'll be again, the rewrite is very ambitious. But we use App Center Analytics. If I can't move away from that, that's fine. We'll continue to use App Center Analytics, but yeah. We get minimal data from error logs. We get what crashed, like what caused the crash, and that's about it. And like a trace of the crash, which is helpful, yes, but so yeah, or like it's helpful, but getting these logs and this data from users that are experiencing it directly is a lot better. It makes debugging things a lot easier. So while yes, we do get data, it's not very useful. Yes. That and mini muxer logs. If you have logs, for sure, please share those, because logs also help a lot. I'm hoping to allow users to see their crash logs in SideStore as well. I think we can do that. I just don't think we actually do it. Oh no, I'm silly. I just quit that. That's fine. What? Sam. What are you doing here? How's the football? Okay. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Riley, please. Okay. I just want to see what he's done. Oh yeah. Still just as great as always. So, this is the... oh, nice. So, this is the fun SideStore, or AltStore. Let's hope it builds. If it doesn't build, this is a testament to why we need SideStore. But I'm mostly just trying to get this to build so I can see what changes we need to pull, because people are constantly wanting these changes to be pulled. Come on, OBS. You can do it. It's going, yeah. I think Xcode doesn't like to be streamed. Yeah, that as well. Oh gosh. Let's get this up on the big screen. Oh no. Oh no. One sec. We're all about to see something beautiful. Okay. Can you guys can see my phone screen? Yes! Yes! You see that? You see that? People complain about SideStore not working with Sideloadly. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh no. Yeah, this comes from AltStore. The reason it doesn't work is because it doesn't work with AltStore. This specific error are app groups. So, right now, the way this is working, it's trying to search for the wrong app group. Oh gosh. Let me move some stuff. Yeah. Alright. So, as you can see, good old container creator lookup app group path by group app group identifier client is not entitled. Oh no, that means we tried to access something that we cannot access. This is an issue that I have been trying to solve in SideStore, but the reason this exists, the reason this issue is happening, is because of good old Yeah, where is it? Where is it? It's somewhere in here. I'm thinking it's just like, cause like as you can see, this entitlement, even though it says that it is using my group, it's not. It's not. And this is definitely a Riley thing that I would have to tell him. This is the issue, though. This is what makes AltStore very difficult to develop, and it makes it very difficult to contribute to. This is the issue that SideStore was hoping to fix. We just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, okay. Application.entitlements, but it's wrong. I guess we could look at the delegate. I bet it'd be in database manager, maybe? Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by it makes it so hard to develop SideStore. Because then I have to come over here, I have to go look at these changes, I have to figure out, okay, what has Riley done? Which isn't too hard. But, you know, I have to decipher his code, I have to figure it all out, blah, 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 blah. Is there a fix for people that sideload and the app crashes and still doesn't sideload the app because a person has this issue and doesn't know how, and I don't know how to fix? Which app is crashing? Is SideStore itself crashing, or are the apps that you have installed through SideStore crashing? If SideStore itself is crashing, after you install or refresh applications, that could just be a SideStore bug. If it's the apps that SideStore refreshes itself, that could be an issue. But yeah, oh, I understand your message now. My brain is a billion places at once. So this crash right here, that I'm showing on the screen, is caused by not using this crash. This good old crash is caused by not using AltServer to install AltStore or SideStore. SideStore experiences this if you don't use AltServer. It's because AltServer creates app groups for AltStore and SideStore. It'll create the app groups that AltStore needs for some reason. I bet it's here. Oh yeah. Good stuff. Hard-coded values. It doesn't work. I only have it downloaded just to test that it downloads. Okay, there we go. That's more like what I'm looking for. Okay. So everyone, welcome to AltStore 2.0. Before we get to 1.0, AltStore's racing their way to 2.0, right? What has changed? I think this is the main change. Oh, hang. Oh, hang. I think that's just WebKit though. Apple treats apps unfairly. WebKit will hang and it'll be like, you're hanging. So these are a lot of the UI features that we are wanting to import or backport. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot here. It's mostly just new UI elements for previewing sources. I think that is the main thing that Riley wanted to add, was the ability to preview sources, and I think certain applications have improved some improvements elsewhere. I don't know. He's been doing a lot of updates to sources in general, though. That we will have to follow. It's just been rough. Though, it seems, as much gripe as I was giving AltStore for building, it's not too bad to get building. It's definitely improved. It used to be terrible. Getting AltStore to build was a chore, but you watched me do it in real time. But what's great about SideStore is that you can just, for the most part, you can just pull and start working on it, as long as you have everything set up the right way. Let's see. Just to test. I'm gonna do a good old SideStore clone just to do a little just to see. It's been a while since I've done this. I bet so. I think jailbreaks gave people better access to the system and allowed for better running of applications. JIT with a jailbreak is a lot more powerful than JIT without a jailbreak, for sure. Hello, Delxmos. Welcome, welcome. We're just talking about SideStore, talking about the future and how things will go and look, and generally just chatting. Let's see, SideStore build, please. I don't think you guys can see it right now. Oh no, it failed. This is the stuff that I want to fix. I will transfer it over. Okay. Yes. I remember now. After stream, I plan on doing a whole lot of SideStore fixing. For sure. I have huge plans. My brain cannot work during this stream right now. But right now, SideStore doesn't build because of the way that we have certain things set up. Easy fix though. I just have to do it, which will come later. But for now, I wanna show off AltStore. AX, which link? I didn't see a link unless you sent me one. Which we can we'll check together. Nope. I'm Delxmos. I'm mostly just talking about stuff, talking about the future, talking about SideStore and plans. Hoping to also just answer people's questions in general. People have had questions about how SideStore works. I can provide some answers. Oh, you're all good, Zeno. Yeah, have a good night. Yeah, no, I truly do think that iOS has the potential of being a great operating system. Apple has just locked it down so far that it is difficult to get anything great out of it now, which is sad. Here, let me check that support forum post. You might get some live debugging. Anesthesia is alcohol, also. I'm gonna type that. Ooh. this one. MMO portal, mostly because hackers sold their soul to Apple. In the olden days, for sure. Yeah, yeah. SIP, did you use side server Windows or did you use alt server Windows? If you used side server, try using alt server instead. Side server, as of right now, does not work on Windows because of the way that it signs SideStore. It just doesn't sign it properly. So, again, we plan on fixing that. We just haven't gotten around to it. I will say, MMO Portal, your message has me ruminating. Ruminating and thinking about it. The other main reason that jailbreaking can't happen the way that it used to is because of the way that they have implemented the hardware. Hardware is so tightly integrated into the security on iOS now when it comes to A12 and up, or iPhone XS and newer. I think XS. But these newer devices, the security chip on these devices are no joke. They secure like every process that you run goes through the hardware chip. It has to, like for the most part, like it goes through that. It does the check. Like AMFI, AMFI, and PPL, I think it is. There are so many things that need to go right for jailbreaks nowadays. Where back in the day, all you needed were a few exploits and you were good. Now you need every exploit. If you don't have every exploit to have access to everything, then you're screwed. um, they also, with the new hardware for A12 Plus, they were able to perform a lot of like firmware shenanigans. They'll still be like competitors. I'll say Riley has no plans of implementing any SideStore feature. I don't think. So, we'll definitely be different. No, the hardware mitigations that went into making sure that you cannot downgrade or tamper with your disk. If you tamper with any file on the disk, if you breathe at it, your phone stops booting and you have to restore it. Right? Yeah, it's very, very clever. It's all insanely clever. I remember reading the write-ups on it. I don't have it in my brain right now, but from my understanding, new jailbreaks require everything to go right. They require a way to bypass the code checking, the code sign checking. You also have to bypass that without tripping up a lot of the hardware stuff. Because if you do that, then you're just screwed. your phone, stops working. Yeah, pretty much. It's the only way. You will always need kernel level access to get access to the rootless containers anyway. Like, as far as I remember and know, the whole goal of a jailbreak is so that you can escape the sandbox and gain root permission. And then with root permission and other various things, yeah. With root and all of your bypasses, you can start running unsigned code or, jailbreak code. It's rough. It's real rough. Escaping the sandbox, one, is rough. Gaining root is rough. The PPL bypass, Amphi, all of it. There's so many things that have to go right. I don't think, unless we see another hardware exploit, all jailbreaks will be software jailbreaks in the future. I think Apple would have to really drop the ball. Yeah, mostly because the chips, SEP, the Secure Enclave Processor, prevents you from editing the IPSW or your iPhone Restore like software. You cannot edit update files. They have to come directly from Apple. The only way that we jailbreakers that I know of that people found ways to mess with it were blobs. And blobs don't work super great on A12 Plus anyway, and they also require a jailbreak to even use, so don't you need root access to jailbreak a phone? Yes and no. You need root access to get everything in place for the jailbreak, but you can put everything in a place that isn't root. You can, for example, iOS stores everything in /var/mobile, and /var/mobile is world readable, world writable, technically. The user account that your phone uses underneath is called mobile. The user account mobile can access everything in var mobile. That's its home directory. So if you put all your jailbreak stuff in there, then you don't have to access /. You still need to access / to get the jailbreak stuff there in the first place. But to actually run the code and do cool stuff, you don't always need root. iOS is open source. Good old Darwin. Not all of it, but the actual kernel and core parts of it are open source. Yeah. I think that password is set by jailbreaks. I don't think that's... I think it's a meme /nod to, the original password. Yeah. Unless it is still just that, but no normal user can access that anyway. So even if it is Alpine, you wouldn't be able to access it anyway. Thank you. 7002, S7002. Again, I will always say we stand on the shoulders of giants. Our work is cool and good, but it's definitely not, you know, we're only improving the work that came before us. Yeah, I guess people didn't realize. Anisette is an alcohol. Um, Apple uses names like anisette and other various things. I can't remember. There's one that starts with an M. I think Madrid. Madrid. Um, and other various things. They name a lot of their security servers after alcohol. So I think there's an Apple server named Absinthe. I could be wrong, but I'd have to look at the list again. The one I know for sure is Anisette, because that's the one that we deal with. For example, there's other servers for iMessages and other Apple services. And I agree. SideStore is a lot better than having to plug your phone in every time. I never got AltServer to work personally. Or no, sorry. I know people who have never gotten AltServer to work, like ever. They've SideStore is great because it should theoretically work for those people. But yeah. And yeah, no, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of cool Apple stuff that I want to teach everyone. I want everyone to know about this stuff because I don't know why everyone is so secretive about it in the iOS community. You've got signing services that like keep how they sign certain apps like a secret. They just go, "Oh yeah, we do this, but vaguely." When it really should just be everyone against Apple. We should all be in this together, trying to document Apple code signing and creating better tools. But again, not everyone is as interested in this as I am. So. S7002. Oh, I'm dropping frames. Ooh. Are we back? Is my internet back? I hope. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Okay. I hope my voice is back. I hope we're good. Okay, cool. So the changes with iOS 17 JIT are that the old way of it working was that right now the way SideStore does it is that we connect using IPv4 and the old lockdown D like libi mobile device way of doing it. Libi mobile device has tools for activating JIT, but those tools are only for iOS 16 and lower. They were developed for iOS 16 and lower. iOS 17 completely changed the way that you do it. It's a completely new protocol. It's a completely new network interface. it's all completely new. The process itself is new as well. For example, the way that it used to work was you just downloaded a developer disk image, and then you could use that developer disk image on any device. It would work as long as it was for your iOS version. It would work on any device. Now, it uses the same servers that iOS uses when it updates itself. When iOS goes to update, it generates unique information about itself that it sends to Apple, and then Apple uses that unique information to send back a properly signed update file, or like a properly generated update file for your device specifically. JIT for iOS 17 and theoretically beyond now use this system, meaning we have to reverse engineer how we upload the unique device information. We also need to reverse engineer how to even connect the protocol. Like, it uses a protocol called QuickTun, which is completely new to us, and it is very different than WireGuard VPN jank. And I also am not sure if we can even use it for something like JIT Streamer. I know people. I was hoping that we could make JIT Streamer 2.0 and just call it a day, but the developer who has put a lot of time into this, Durans, for Pi Mobile Device 3, he has said that he does not think we would be able to do that. So I've also heard mixed things from other people saying that we could do it through the WireGuard VPN. We could spoof it and get it to work fully on device. But the main point that I will tell you and tell everyone is that iOS 17 JIT will not be coming today, and it will not be coming anytime soon. Expect to probably wait for it as if... Yeah. Wait for it as if it's a jailbreak, essentially. It's being treated that way, sort of, by Apple, because they've made it exclusively only work over IPv6, which is a different thing, or it's just a completely different protocol. Different addressing, yada yada. So, if anything, this is wishful thinking, and very obviously not true, but imagine if SideStore was the reason Apple did that change. I don't think that to be true, especially since they didn't patch any of the other parts of SideStore. You can still sideload things. I've seen these dev disk images, but what are they truly? So, they are just images, or they are images in the macOS sense. macOS uses DMG images. When you install software on macOS, it gets put into a special file called a DMG file. This file can contain anything inside of it. It's basically a fancy zip file that you can mount as if it were an external disk, right? And iOS uses this to mount, it mounts it as an external disk, and it allows you to run extra developer programs and tools that Apple provides. Inside the DMG file, there are binary commands that iOS can run if you mount this image. You can only... you can only mount this image using Xcode or libimobile device. And it allows you to enable JIT, it allows you to start and stop processes, it allows you to control. This is an exciting one that I kind of want to look into with SideStore more. It allows you to automate and control the UI, which is a feature that everyone in their every like slightly technical person that uses AltStore has requested of AltStore a lot. But it would allow you to run side-loaded applications, and you could fully script UI automations. You could make an iOS auto clicker if you really wanted to with SideStore, theoretically. But I hope you could hear all that. I hope it makes sense as well. Yeah, JIT is enabled using the tools inside the DMG file. I can't remember which one exactly, but it is the tools inside of the DMG file that allow you to debug applications. Apple just essentially forced these tools to be signed now for your device specifically, instead of just working for every device. We can't really make that. We just have to hope that someone else makes it easier. Or someone on the team wants to do it, they can, but I don't see that happening. I might call it here soon. I've been streaming for quite a while, talking. It's been great talking to everyone. I've had a great time. Yeah, for every device. Basically, the way it works, your device details get sent to Apple's servers, and then, yeah. You also have to mount the disk, which mounting the disk completely is changed as well. That's essentially, they completely broke JIT. In basic terms, we cannot connect to the device to mount the developer disk the way that we used to. We also cannot use the old images in the same way like we used to. And yeah, to execute any general unsigned code, you need a jailbreak or exploit, or JIT, which, yeah. I'm dropping frames. I might be dropping a lot of frames. I might call it here. Yeah, no, I plan on doing more streams. Here, wait, I'm gonna